This movie is actually based on a true life story that happened in Nigeria in 1993, just after the most peaceful general election we have ever experienced in this country. Here's the gist.
Hijack 93 is actually based on a true life story that happened in Nigeria in 1993 about how a Nigerian Airways plane was hijacked on 25th October 1993. The Nigerian Airways plane was actually flying from Lagos to Abuja, carrying a total of 143 passengers, including the crew members. The incident occurred during the political instability in Nigeria, following the annulment of the June 12, 1993 presidential election, which had been widely considered free and fair.
It is true that the presidential election was generally seen to be free, fair, and peaceful. However, there was in fact a huge array of electoral practices virtually in all the states of the Federation before the actual voting began.
A few months after the general election in 1993, where IBB annulled the election and didn't declare Moshood Abiola, who happens to be MKO Abiola, as the winner.
Four young guys named Richard Ogunderu, Kabiru Adenuga, Bennett Oluwadaisi, and Kenneth Razak Lawal boarded the flight initially planned to fly from Lagos to Abuja, containing top government officials, including Rong Yiren, who was the then vice president of China. These young guys, who happened to be the hijackers, had planned to divert the aircraft to Frankfurt, Germany. However, the plane needed to stop over for refueling in Niamey, Niger Republic, before moving on from there. When the flight landed at the Diori Amani International Airport in Niamey, the hijackers announced that the flight had been taken over by their rebel group called Movement for the Advancement of Democracy in Nigeria. These hijackers had two demands.
First was for the then interim government to resign, which was headed by Ernest Shoniken. Then secondly was to announce MKO Abiola as the president. Well, what happened?
They threatened that if their demands were not met in 72 hours, they would set the plane on fire, killing all passengers in the plane. After 2 hours of negotiation, they freed 129 passengers, including Rong Yiren, who happens to be the then vice president of China, from the plane, and held back the crew and Nigerian government officials. After 4 days of unsuccessful negotiation, the joint military force of Nigeria and Niger Republic successfully invaded the plane and arrested the hijackers. Strangely, they were tried and sentenced to jail in Niger Republic for about 9 years and 6 months before being released and sent back to Nigeria. Their story is now what is being adapted in the movie Hijack 93, which features great actors like Sharon Oja, Nassim Sime, Bob Manuel, John Dumelu, and the likes.
It has to be. Burn this plane down.
That's our national airline standing there with Nigerian citizens on board.
The only English people understand is shoot and kill. Hey, everybody keep quiet. Hold on, Amanda.
Yes.
Trust me. If you try us, we are prepared to do whatever it takes to reclaim our stolen mandate.
This is our doctor on board.
Mayday. We have hijackers on board. Mayday, please advise. Mayday.